more than a pleasure to be here today. And being here today is another victory on the path of progress. We are here today in spite of the fact that not long ago, printing, holding, and distribution of Nkrumah's photograph was a criminal act for which we could be sent to prison. That we are here today is the clearest indication that those forces of reaction have failed, will fail, and would never succeed. We are here today to send a message loud and clear that we are here to win this battle against underdevelopment. We are here to win the battle against backwardness. And we are here to win that battle against those forces of reaction who are engaged in self-hate. Those forces of reaction who see no good in themselves and therefore are incapable of seeing any good in the Ghanaian and African people. That is why we are here today. Comrades, in this gathering are two very, very distinguished men. Two men who deserve the red salute from all of us. In this gathering is Professor Akilapa Sawyer. I mentioned Professor Akilapa Sawyer because he has inspired all of us. I heard about him in the 1960s, late 70s, and so on. And he continues to be in the vanguard of that movement, which is engaged in the struggle for sanity to prevail. He deserves a salute. Wow. In this gathering is also Professor Atta Brechu, an old warrior. He's never let his guard down, has always walked with pride and acted in dignity so that the truth can prevail. Indeed, Professor Atta Brechu is one of those giants of our world who has helped to shape us into what we have become today, the socialist movement of Ghana. And as I stand before you today, I can only wish that he will continue to grow from strength to strength and offer us that guidance so that in the not too distant future, we shall defeat the forces of imperialism, defeat the agents of reaction, and build that new Ghana that Nkrumah dreamt about. In this very gathering is also Professor Francis Nkrumah. Professor Francis Nkrumah, and I'm choosing my words very, very carefully. Professor Francis Nkrumah happens to be a son of the Osadifo. Because we know that the revolutionary ethos is not transferred through genetics. There are many people who were born to great men and great women who are by themselves absolutely useless and have no understanding of the dimensions of our struggle. Professor Francis Nkrumah is an exception. He is not Nkrumah's son. He is an Nkrumahist in his own right. And that is what matters to us. It is not about the genetic connection. It is about the ideological and political connection. It's about what you do in order to move our society forward. As for the debate about whether Nkrumah is the founder of Ghana and so on, that matter was decided a long time ago, and we are not going back to it. It was decided When the people of Ghana voted overwhelmingly for Nkrumah to become our first leader, for Nkrumah to build Ghana block after block, it was a decision by the people of Ghana, and we are not going back to that again. In 1951, there was an election in this country. The Dankwas, the Obechebilantes, all of them came together against Nkrumah. Nkrumah led the Convention People's Party, and out of 34 seats, the Convention People's Party won 32. Why are we debating this issue again? The matter was decided 32 out of 34. What again do we need in order to decide who is the founder of this country? On the eve of independence, at the old polo grounds, the 6 people who declared the independence, who saw Obechebilante there? Who saw Dankwa there? Who saw Akufo-Addo there? None of them was there. And it was not by accident. That is part of the story. All of us know the historical record. We know that K.A. Buzia wrote a letter to the British government saying that he doesn't understand why they are in a hurry to give Ghana independence. He said they are in a hurry to give Ghana independence. Why? He said we are not ready for independence. We haven't learned your ways enough to become independent. Wait small. Let us learn to become British more so that you can give us independence. So they didn't want independence on March 6, 1957. So why do they want to claim it? The thing they didn't want then, now they want. It's too late. It's over. It's too late. You know, comrades, sometimes when you listen to our opponents, when you listen to those who fought Nkrumah and are continuing to fight Nkrumah even in his grave, you begin to wonder whether there is something called logic. Logic escapes. You can't believe it. These people say that one person cannot achieve independence. How can you say that one person achieved independence? It must be the multitudes. So many people have to work together to achieve independence. And because they say that one person cannot achieve independence, they have done the sacrilege of breaking into the Kwame Nkrumah mausoleum to create what they call the Freedom Walk. And they are introducing the effigies of Dankwa, of Obechebilante, all of them, in that walkway. This is their logic. And I look around, and I see Dankwa Circle. Oh, so one person cannot found a nation. One person cannot struggle alone. Because of that, you cannot have a monument dedicated to Nkrumah. But Dankwa, is he not a person? Did he do what he did alone? Was he the only person in the UGCC? And yet you have a Dankwa circle dedicated to Dankwa. You see where logic has escaped? So following from their own logic, we should not have a Dankwa circle. We should have a park grant, Kwame Nkrumah, Obechebilante, all coming in one circle. If you travel a little bit north, you find the Akufo-Addo circle. Why? Akufo-Addo there is a superman, he's not a human being. So he alone can do wonders. So you have a whole circle dedicated to Akufo-Addo. Why don't we have Nkrumah, Obechebilante, Dendi Ashikrisha, Kodokotio, all of them, one circle? Why not? And it goes on and on and on. You know, this country is a very interesting country. You fly down, you land at Kotoka International Airport, you go somewhere through the airport residential area, you have America Cabral Road, Then somewhere else you have Nelson Mandela Road. If you happen to miss your way and you pass in front of this is George Walker Bush Highway and so on. What is wrong with us? Comrades, we are confusing everybody and anybody. We are honoring George Walker Bush and honoring America Cabral at the same time. Where are our values? Because what America Cabral represents is totally, completely different from what George Bush represents. And there's a country which somehow is able to recognize all of them and honor all of them in spite of the fact that they are different. What a country. My goodness, this is a special country. This morning, I had the misfortune of having to discuss some of these issues on national television. With a gentleman who is otherwise so cool, so collected, and so on, the problem with him is that he comes from the Dankwa with their tradition. Otherwise, he's a nice guy. And this guy is sitting on national television and he says that this debate about Nkrumah and Dankwa, we have to stop it. We have to stop it. Because the young people, they are not interested in our history. The young people, they just want KK to eat. History is not important for them and so on. I said, what evidence do we need? That we are marching backwards into darkness. You have leaders of political parties who think that history is irrelevant. Can you understand why we are so poor? Can you understand why we are in this mess? Can you understand why our leaders have got their minds fucked up? They don't know the relevance of history. They don't know that you cannot tell where you are today if you don't know where you are coming from. And you cannot tell where you are going tomorrow if you don't know where you are coming from. Our leaders think that history is irrelevant. It's not important. You understand? Any wonder that these same leaders met and decided to take history out of instruction in our second cycle schools? Because they think that history is not important. And because they're so confused about our history, they do many things. Last week, the longest reigning monarch in England passed away. I want to respect the tradition that we do not speak ill about the dead. But my goodness, when I heard former President Uhuru Kenyatta pay tribute to the Queen of England, I said, we are finished. This woman who ordered the assault on the Mau Mau movement, this woman who wanted to kill her father, because all her father wanted was freedom from British colonialism. His own father, not my father, Uhuru Kenyatta's father. Unbelievable. And all of them trooped there to pay their respects. Do you blame them? Do you blame them? I'm not so sure whether we should blame them. You know, one of the fundamental problems which confront us is that right from childhood, a lot of nonsense has been pumped into our heads. We have been shaped by nonsense. As a little boy, I went to Sunday school, and I'm sure that many of you here went to Sunday school. One of the things that I was taught very early is that smart people would never go to heaven. If you apply logic, you won't go to heaven. Heaven is for the unquestioning fool, the people who don't ask questions. Don't ask complicated questions. If you want to go to heaven, don't ask complicated questions. Be a fool. And I said to myself, even in my childhood, that as for foolishness, you don't need to quanta your pie. Me and foolishness, no way. I will try to be sensible. I may not be successful, but I will try to be sensible. So let them keep their heaven and let me keep my earth. And I'm so comfortable being on this earth and at least trying to be sensible. Whether I succeed or not is another matter, but I'm trying to be sensible. You understand? So this is how we're brought up. I mean, 3 days ago I was telling the story of my first day in nursery school. Your first day in nursery school, what are you being taught? You are being taught to say, God save the queen. What queen? God save the queen. And what other songs you are being taught? London's burning, look yonder, fire, fire, no water. That's the songs we were taught. And we are still teaching these songs in our school. If this is the first thing you introduce your children to, what do they grow up to become? If these are the first things you introduce your children to, what do they grow up to become? And then we are told that why are you people quarreling so much? After all, it's just about where to place an apostrophe. It's just about where to place an apostrophe. Why are you fighting? Don't fight. Are we the people who started the fight? We were sitting there somewhere when these guys came to power and decided to play with the apostrophe. And we know that they are not just playing with the apostrophe. They are actually sending a message of relevance. It's about which vision is relevant today. It's about how to get out of a neo-colonial status. It's about how to build that new Africa. It's about our values. It's not just about an apostrophe. In any case, if removing an apostrophe is not important, why did they remove it? We are not the people who changed the position of the apostrophe. They did. So we are not to be blamed for fighting over the apostrophe. But we know that we are not fighting over apostrophe. We are fighting over relevance. We are fighting over ideological direction. We are fighting over the political direction of Ghana and Africa. And we will win that fight. We will not stop until we have won that fight, and we will win that fight. Comrades, the distortion is huge. And I'm so very happy that the man I respect so much came before me and has dealt with some of the issues. Professor Raymond Atukuba has dealt with some of the issues. He has said, for example, that if we didn't want independence in 1957, why do we want to claim it? There's more to say. Comrades, we are not talking about 1957. We are talking about today. Why? If the independence we achieved on March 6, 1957 was just one of the stepping stones towards our liberation. On 1st July 1960, we attained Republican status, another milestone. It is not the end of the journey, but it's another milestone. Now, today, the government we have has decided that 1st July is not important. So 1st July has been relegated to a commemorative day. It's not important. Now, the people who say that 1st July is not important, our Republican status is not important, are fighting over who gave independence to us. Can you believe that? What does independence mean to people who don't respect 1st of July? They have no respect for 1st of July. They cannot have any respect for 6th March. These charlatans, they will expose themselves for everybody to know who they are. Leave them, listen to them, and they expose themselves. We have been told, for example, that they had to fight against Nkrumah because Nkrumah was a dictator. Because Nkrumah was presiding over a one-party state and so on. You know, the thing we are as dull as they are, we are not that dull. We know the facts of our history. We know attempt, the first attempt to kill Nkrumah was at Malata Market in Accra. There was a brick house. I think today is a bakery. That is where Nkrumah lived. Before Nkrumah became prime minister, they tried to kill him. The man was not even prime minister. He was a common citizen living there with his mother, Naniba. They tried to kill him. So what is this rubbish about they wanted to get rid of Nkrumah because he was a dictator? They started killing the man even when he was not in power. The first coup d'etat, the first coup attempt was in 1958. That is the coup attempt which is known in our history as the T-Junction affair. That coup d'etat, which involved Ara Ponsa, that man, what was his name, Machete and others. It was 1958. 1958. Ghana was a fully fledged multi-party democracy. That is how they call it. No be so. They say fully fledged multi-party democracy. And yet they tried to kill Nkrumah. They tried to overthrow him. And then you hear them talking about the Preventive Detention Act. And I ask, those who were arrested under the Preventive Detention Act, why were they arrested? Were they arrested because they tried to grow roses in their gardens? Were they arrested for planting kisses on the cheeks of children? Why were they arrested? And you know, they twist the historical facts. One of those who was responsible for the explosion of the bombs, for the throwing of the dynamite and so on, was a guy called Obechebi Lamte. When Obechebi Lamte was arrested, Nkrumah was not the judge. When Obechebi Lamte was arrested, the judges were three. Justice Van Leer, Sir Aku Kosa, and Nana Akufo-Addo's father, Edward Akufo-Addo. These were the three judges who tried Obechebi Lamte. And all these three judges, including Akufo-Addo's father, came to the conclusion that Obechebi Lamte was a terrorist, and they jailed him. They jailed Obechebi Lamte. Today, they turn around and blame him. You see them? Look at them. See them for what they are. It was not Nkrumah who sentenced Obechebi Lamte to jail for his terrorism. It was Akufo-Addo's father, Justice Van Leer, and Justice Aku Kosa. Now, today, they are coming to us and saying that, look, Obechebi Lamte was also founder of Ghana, part of Big Six. Take him to the Nkrumah monument. Build a special monument for Obechebi Lamte and so on. Why do they think that we are fighting with us? They should go and fight with Akufo-Addo's father. It was Akufo-Addo's father who declared him a terrorist, not me. They should give us some break. Now, comrades, we can continue talking, exposing the lies, exposing the myth, and so on. That is okay. It's our duty as Nkrumahs, as revolutionaries, to do that every now and then. But there's a more pressing duty before us. Today, as we gather here in the headquarters of the Socialist Movement of Ghana, our leaders all over Africa, they are turning to us and saying, look, we are facing hunger. We don't have enough grains. We don't have enough fertilizer. Hunger is going to kill us. We have to do something. That's what our leaders are telling us. And then you ask them, why? They say this Russian-Ukraine war is causing havoc everywhere. And then you look back and you say, but I thought that Africa, one continent, has 70% of the arable land in the world. Now, if Africa has 70% of the arable land in the world, and our leaders are telling us that because of the war in Ukraine and Russia, they can't feed us, it's a testimony about who our leaders are and how bankrupt and useless they are. useless leaders. You have 70% of the arable land in the world. Everybody knows that organic fertilizer is the best way of producing food. You don't know that? If you don't know that, you are an idiot. Organic fertilizer, not chemical fertilizer. We have the capacity to produce organic fertilizer. And our leaders are crying that they don't have chemical fertilizer, so we have to starve to death. What leaders are these? These are strange leaders indeed, in strange times. It is our responsibility to build that alternative. To build that alternative. We have a responsibility to build that alternative. This program is being telecast live everywhere in Ghana. People are listening to this program as we speak. People are listening to this program for 46 African countries. People are listening to this program for South America. People in Europe are listening to this program. Africans, wherever you are. Africans, wherever you are. South America, Europe, everywhere. The time has come for us to come together, to hold hands, to move shoulder to shoulder, to crush the system of oppression and exploitation. We can't take it anymore, and the time to act is now.
Viva! Viva! Viva!
Comrades and friends, to some extent, we are responsible for the predicament we face and the masses also face. What is it that prevents us from working together? Why can't we work together? If all of us claim to be Nkrumahist, why are we working in a fragment? What is wrong with us? Why can't we work together? The time has come to make the clarion call that all progressive forces in Ghana, in Africa, and everywhere need to come together to engage in that relentless battle which was led by America Cabral, to engage in that struggle which was led by Modibo Keita, to engage in that struggle which was led by Sekuturi, and to struggle until final victory comes. We can do it, and we must do it. Comrades, we did not gather here to celebrate Nkrumah for nothing. We have gathered here to celebrate Nkrumah because there is still work to be done. Today, on the island of Diabo Gesia, is that how they call them? The United States still is establishing military bases on the island of Diabo Gesia. We have to kick them out of Diabo Gesia. It is our responsibility. That is an island of Africans. And we have a responsibility to decolonize the islands. Today, as we gather here, Morocco is behaving as, not like us, an imperial power, and is trampling on the rights of the people of Western Sahara. We must stand shoulder to shoulder with the people of Western Sahara in their struggle for national liberation, in their struggle to overcome Moroccan occupation, so that the people of Western Sahara can build their own independent state. That is our responsibility. That is why we are here. We are here today in full solidarity with the people of Palestine, struggling against and resisting Zionist oppression. We are here today because we know that what the people of Palestine faced is not substantially different from what our brothers and sisters faced in South Africa. The frontiers of apartheid have shifted, and we will confront those frontiers and remove those frontiers and build that brand new Africa of freedom and prosperity. That is our charge, and we will do it. We are here today at a time when West Papua is still suffering colonialism. We stand with the people of West Papua in that confrontation. We are here today and we are reminded by what Nkrumah said on the eve of our independence, that the independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked with the total liberation of the African continent. Not many people understand this. Some don't understand it. That is the boldest internationalist statement I ever heard in my life. We have struggled for independence. Nkrumah has been in prison. People have died. Then when we were just about to get independence, Osagyefo says this independence is nothing. If it is not linked to the total liberation of the African continent, our independence only becomes meaningful within the context of the total liberation of the African people. We still stand with Nkrumah on that. We are still together. We still believe in the principles of internationalism. We are still committed to that principle of internationalism, and we will never waver from committing.
Their quoted lies spread widely like venom in the hearts of all and sundry. The future, you lose them this hour. We remember your fallen fighters.
Please, if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget the notification button.